back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a review on the L'Oréal Infallible Fresh Wear 24-Hour Foundation. If you do want to see a review and a demo, please keep watching. I was scrolling through Ulta.com and I did see that they did have a new foundation in the L'Oréal Infallible line, and this is the Fresh Wear Foundation. I got two shades. I picked up the shade Toffee, which is this one here, and I also picked up Hazelnut, and this foundation does retail for $14.99 on Ulta. It does come in 30 different shades. I'm just going to be reading some information about this foundation that I did find online. It does say, introducing L'Oréal's breakthrough longwear foundation with breathable skin technology. Infallible Fresh Wear 24-Hour Foundation provides medium to full buildable coverage that lasts all day and allows the skin to breathe. The next part really gets interesting, and that's the reason why I purchased this foundation. It says the formula's 3 oil absorbers resist sweat, water, and transfer. So basically this foundation is supposed to be sweat proof, transfer resistant, and water resistant. And then it also goes on to say this ultra thin liquid goes on smoothly to give a fresh, healthy looking complexion that lasts. And it says color stays true and blends in evenly so your makeup looks fresh all day. I definitely want my foundation to last the entire day for me, so that's why I do these 1 week wear tests. I'm looking for 3 things. The first thing I am looking for, is this foundation going to make me oily throughout the day? Do I have to blot throughout the day? How many times I'm blotting throughout the day? The second thing I'm looking for, is the foundation going to last on me? Is it going to transfer everywhere? Am I going to look like a hot mess throughout the end of the night? And the third thing that I am looking for in any foundation, is this foundation going to oxidize on me throughout the day? So enough of me chatting, let's talk about this foundation. So here's the first shade in Toffee. It does come with a pump, and the foundation does come with a pump, but it's actually the other side has a pump, which is really weird. Does this twist? Okay, I guess it was put on the wrong way because the pump is supposed to be facing forward, I think. I don't know, this is weird. So I'm just gonna put the pump in the front and see what the pump looks like. And it's in the shade 505 Toffee. So I'm just going to pump some out on the back of my hand. And we're just going to blend this out. So Toffee does look like a good match. So here we have the shade in Toffee, and this foundation also does have sunscreen in it. I personally don't like foundations that do have sunscreen in it. I rather put on my own sunscreen because I feel like the sunscreen would give me a white cast. I've already primed and moisturized my face. For moisturizer, I did use my Drunk Elephant moisturizer. I have it around here, but I'm not sure where I did place it. And for primer, I am wearing this Milani primer. This is an excellent primer from the drugstore. This primer is a prime and correct face primer. It corrects redness and pore minimizing. This is actually my 2nd or 3rd bottle this year. So I'm just going to be taking a little bit of Toffee, and we're going to see if this does match me. Ooh, wow. Okay, so that did match me really well. And I also purchased the shade Hazelnut just in case Toffee didn't match. But I'm pretty sure we are going to be using Toffee. But let's see what Hazelnut looks like. Again, with this pump thing. Shouldn't the pump be up here? Okay, there we go. So let's put Hazelnut on the back of this hand so you guys can see what that looks like. Okay, so there we have the shade in Hazelnut. I feel like Hazelnut would be a little bit too dark for me. So Toffee is here and Hazelnut is here. The shade Toffee looks a little bit more cool tone, whereas Hazelnut looks more warm tone on me. But I do want to go with the shade Toffee though. So I'm just going to wipe away these swatches. I'm just going to take a little bit of primer and just put some more primer where I did those swatches. I'm sorry that the light keeps coming in and out from this window because the sun. It's super early in the morning, you guys, and I guess the sun just came up. So going back to the foundation, I'm going to take 2 drops on the back of my hand. Wow, this foundation is runny. Of course, whenever I'm trying a new foundation, I always use one side with a damp beauty blender and the other side with a brush. So I'm going to do this side with a damp beauty sponge. I'm going to take a little bit on there and we're just going to dab this in. So here we have 1 layer of the foundation using a damp beauty blender. And it is medium coverage. It's not full coverage, but we are going to build up the foundation to a 2nd layer. So now on the left side of my face, I am going to be using a brush. I'm going to do 2 pumps like we did earlier on this side. And we're just going to blend this foundation out with a brush. foundation is currently looking like with the brush on this side and the beauty blender on this side. I do like the beauty blender side better than the brush side. I do feel like the beauty blender side makes the foundation look more natural, whereas the brush side, it doesn't look as natural as this side. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Of course, we are going to be building up the foundation. We're going to do a second layer on the beauty blender side. So I'm just going to take 2 more pumps, and I'm going to do it directly on my damp beauty blender, and we're going to blend this foundation out. Here we have 2 layers of the foundation using a damp beauty blender. And I do like how natural the foundation is looking with that damp beauty blender. I'm going to be applying a second layer using a brush. Again, 2 more pumps. So here's what the foundation is currently looking like with 2 layers of the foundation using a damp beauty blender and a brush. Don't like is the consistency of this foundation. It was a bit runny when I did apply this foundation on the back of my hand, and I did notice that the foundation did oxidize because I have a little bit of the shade in Toffee on the back of my hand. So here's what the shade Toffee does look like when it did dry down, and I'm just going to do a fresh pump of what Toffee looks like. You guys can see it's already starting to run on the back of my hand, and this foundation was a little bit lighter. So you guys can see the difference that this foundation did oxidize. I will be wearing this foundation for the entire day. I won't be adding any setting powder to my face because I do want to see how this foundation does wear. I will probably be adding setting spray and setting powder on day 2 tomorrow. But we are going to see how this foundation does last throughout the entire day. And I will check back in with you guys at the end of the night, and I will see you guys then. Hey guys, so it is the end of the night of me testing out the L'Oréal Infallible Fresh Wear 24-Hour Foundation. This is what the foundation is currently looking like. It is actually a little bit chilly outside today. It's in the 50s here in Florida, so that's why I do have my comfy robe on. But so far, you guys, I don't really like how the foundation did wear throughout the day. It's probably because I did not set the foundation with setting powder, so I am going to be doing that tomorrow. And I did not use a setting spray either. So maybe that's why the foundation is kind of transferring all over the place. Like you can see on my nose, it's kind of transferring off. I am very oily with this foundation. This foundation doesn't claim to be oil-free or anything, but it does claim to absorb oils. So far, I do feel like the foundation is coming off around my nose and right here as well. Like, I'm gonna zoom you guys in a little bit closer. Alrighty guys, you guys are zoomed all the way in, and you can definitely see that the foundation didn't really wear well throughout the day. It did start to break up like around my face and around my nose, as you guys can see. So far you guys, I'm not really liking this foundation. It really did not live up to its claim. This foundation does claim to last 24 hours. So again, I will be trying out this foundation tomorrow with some setting powder and some setting spray, and I will see how it goes. And I will check back in with you guys at the end of the week to see how this foundation does perform, and I will see you guys then. Hey guys, so it is the end of the week of me testing out the L'Oréal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear Foundation. My final thoughts on this foundation is that I don't like how the foundation does wear throughout the day. It does break up on my oily skin. I currently am wearing the foundation right now, and I did set the foundation with setting powder, and I still don't like how the foundation does wear throughout the day. Every day this week when I did use this foundation, I did have to use at least 4 pumps of this foundation. That's a lot of foundation for me to use throughout the week. This foundation is definitely not a full coverage foundation. I would consider this foundation to be medium coverage. I did also notice that this foundation is breaking me out. I am getting a pimple right over here, as you guys can see, and then right here in my inner nose as well. So that is like really strange to me because I have not changed anything in my skincare routine. I've been using the same primers, the same setting powders, the same setting sprays that I've been currently using. For some reason I'm breaking out, so I'm pretty sure it's this foundation. I definitely think $14.99 is super expensive for a drugstore foundation. There are some alternative really good foundations at the drugstore, like the Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation. This foundation has been my holy grail foundation since I discovered it last year, I think it was. Another really great full coverage foundation is by Makeup Revolution. This foundation retails for $12 at Ulta Beauty, and it is full coverage. You don't need to use a lot of product, and it does last a pretty long time on me. But for some reason, this foundation did make me very oily throughout the day. I did blot multiple times throughout the day, and I was still very oily, and I felt like after I did blot, I did feel like the foundation did kind of move around throughout my face. So I'm not sure why, but this was not a really good foundation for me. I would think that this foundation would work best on dry skin or combination skin. I don't think that this foundation would last on oily skin. After setting the foundation throughout the entire week, while testing the foundation out, it just did not last on me for some reason. I still became very oily throughout the day using this foundation. I always use my Holy Grail setting powders. I use my Milk Makeup Blur and Set powder, and I also set this foundation with the Too Faced Mattifying Loose Setting Powder. But in all honesty, this foundation did not last on me throughout the entire week. I used quite a bit of the foundation. I am about right here to the middle of the foundation bottle. I have to shake up the foundation today, that's why you guys can't probably tell. But I really did expect this foundation to last quite some time on me. It says up to 24 hours. It really did not last up to 24 hours. I think by like the 8-hour mark or the 9-hour mark, it just looked like a hot mess on me. It was very oily on me, and I definitely like a grease ball throughout the end of the night. So this foundation is a no for me. If you guys did enjoy this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, please do subscribe. I will see you guys in my next video.